Welcome back to the Kosias, the channel. My name is Kosi. Welcome back to a brand new video, and we are back in the goals with Bukayo Saka. After 2, Fulham 1. What did we learn? Because that game was absolutely sublime. We did have some negatives as the injuries to Gabriel, Angel and Timber, and we shall get an update on that later on as we prepare for Madrid. But for now, we celebrate the win. Arsenal back in 2 weeks and back with a bang. I really hate Fulham. They're teams that I really want Arsenal to beat. Fulham, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Everton. I really don't like those teams because whenever it comes to Arsenal winning some piece of silverware, they're the teams that come and block us. And that game having no pressure, Arsenal always going to play their game. And indeed, we played our game. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Who was your man of the match? I've gone with 4 options. You can let me know if you agree with me. Martinelli, Nwaneri, Merino, and Thomas Partey. Someone is going to mention Bukayo Saka. Maybe, maybe not. Let me know in the comment box below. But I thought Gabriel Martinelli had a very, very good game. I thought Ethan Nwaneri had a very good game as well. Mika Merino, the goal was really, really good. I mean, it's a midfielder goal. It's not a striker goal, but I love it. And Thomas Partey, he's one of the reasons as to why that game was different. I like the way he came into that game and decided that we're going to play at a quicker and sharper pace in order to penetrate through Fulham. So let me know in the comment box below, and let's get into what we learned in this game as Arsenal triumphed over Fulham in a London derby once again. And first and foremost, I want to say that quick football beats low blocks and quick football beats mid blocks, and we saw that yesterday. Now, the teams that have always given us big problems in the Premier League are low block teams and also mid block teams. Teams that come and compact the midfield, teams that come and compact their defensive area and just make it difficult for us to play through, just make it difficult for us to go through. And we saw that yesterday. Fulham, it was their strategy. It's their strategy always. When they play Liverpool, when they play Arsenal, when they play Manchester City, because they know they're not as drilled as Arsenal, they're not as drilled as Manchester City. What they can afford to do is come and sit back in that midfield area, in that penalty area, and just make sure that they're so glued together you can't penetrate. And why Arsenal have been struggling with these formations before is easy. Because we have been playing at a very slow rate, at a very slow pace, you can't penetrate a well-drilled defensive line, a well-drilled defensive system if you're playing like that. What you're doing simply is shifting the ball from the right to the left and from the left to the right. And what Fulham are doing is they're easily coping with that. They're shifting their defensive lines from the right to the left and from the left to the right easily. And that's why we've always had big problems with low blocks and mid blocks. And I remember saying there's so many ways to beat a mid block. And I remember watching a couple of videos, especially from the different Knock My Man, and he was saying, listen, Arsenal need players that can receive in between the lines, the likes of Phil Foden, the likes of Santiago Gonzalez-Cazorla, and that kind of player, that the players that are brave, that can break through the lines and receive between the lines. But also, you need wide players that are very quick and are willing to sprint all the time in behind. But there is also something we talked about. Can you move the ball a little bit quicker? Can you pass it a little bit quicker? Can you make it, quicker that Fulham don't have enough time to adapt? Now, the 2 goals we saw yesterday explain that very well. Let's talk about the first goal. Thomas Partey in possession, quickly plays the ball into Julian Timber. Timber doesn't play the ball backwards into Partey, but he plays it inside the channel. That ball is calling Ethan Nwaneri to run inside. That ball is not played in the feet of Nwaneri. It is played inside the channel, and Nwaneri has no choice but to run inside, right? And if you go back and look at that first goal, go back and watch it, the Fulham defender, I think that's Robinson, is completely blindsided. It is completely out of position. And the reason for that is he thinks Julian Timber is going to play this ball out wide into Nwaneri, and Nwaneri is going to try and take him on 1v1. What Timber does though is he plays the ball into space, he plays the ball into the channel, and eventually what happens is that Nenweri is not going to take on Robinson 1v1, but is going to run inside, to meet that ball. And Robinson is completely blindsided. Now, you could call it bad defending as well, but I think teams have a script when it comes to Arsenal. Arsenal is a team that you can, stop by stopping their wingers and stopping their wide players from attacking you 1v1. So I liked it. And let's talk about the second goal. The ball is played into the wide area very, very quickly. Then it is crossed in. Gabriel Martinelli gets a touch, across goal, and there is someone at the back post, and that is Saka. Again, that is a transition-like kind of goal. And what kind of goals have we been not scoring this season? Transition goals. Whenever we've been trying to run onto goal, whenever we've been trying to, to catch teams on the break, we've always slowed down near the penalty area. And I've always asked myself, why? Why do we slow down during a counter attack when we have players like Saka, you have players like Martinelli? These players have raw pace, and these players have good finishing, and these players have very, very good technical advantages and quality. So we saw it yesterday that Mikel Arteta is slowly but surely coming to realize, I actually need to play better football, quicker football when it comes to breaking down low blocks, especially for Premier League clubs. That is number one. But also secondly, I need to do this. I need to make sure that we can score different types of goals. Corners are there, but also goals on the transition. So I love that personally, and I wish we can do that against a team like Madrid. Because with Madrid, you're not just going to beat them with set pieces. They're such a very good team. They are, a high value team. You're not going to beat them with just set pieces. You're going to have to do more than that, and I hope we can actually do that. The second reason and the second thing we learned in that game, Saka is back, and the goal tells us that. I mean, you look at such a goal, it's an easy goal, right? It's a very, very easy goal. But what makes that goal very valuable and what makes that goal very genius is the reading of the game from a player like Saka. We know he scores those goals, and we know he will always be in that position and he will score them. But you've got to ask yourself a simple question. Why have Arsenal not scored these goals when Saka was away? It is the way he reads the game. It is him. It is his talent. It's natural. He anticipates where the ball is going to come. He anticipates where, it's going to drop. And for me, he's back. He's really, really back. Now, of course, whether he's ready to take on Madrid full 90 minutes, we shall see, and we shall, find out with the manager and whatever is going to happen. But I'm really, really happy to have him back. The whole team looked organized. The whole team looked a threat with Bukayo Saka, on that front line. We really, really missed him. And you could see that with Saka on the pitch, even the likes of Gabriel Martinelli have a bit of freedom. They can do their own thing because they know the higher volume of passes and the higher volume of football is going to be played into the feet of Saka. And they can run, they can make their runs, they can, make their positions matter and everything. So I really loved Saka coming back. I really loved the goal. It is typical of what we've been missing, and I hope that continues. Now, the third lesson is that Saka is Arsenal, really, guys. Saka is Arsenal. I mean, there is this dead man's environment, right, that has been around the Emirates Stadium, not only the Emirates Stadium, but that has been around our games when Saka's been injured. He's been out for 100 days, and Arsenal games have not been the same again. Even on TV, you kind of just feel like this team is unrecognizable. He is the identity of the team, but I think he is Arsenal. I mean, when he scores, listen to the roar. Listen to the life that comes into the stadium. Listen to the energy. Listen to the spirits of the team, and listen to just listen to the ambience. It is absolutely different with Bukayo Saka. Now, I personally have said before that Arsenal have to define an attacking profile that is not Bukayo Saka. But I also think I need to say this. Arsenal need to define a superstar profile that is not Bukayo Saka. And we don't have to, but we might have to. I mean, when you look at Real Madrid, they have Vinicius Junior, that is a superstar there, but then they also have Kylian Mbappe and Jude Bellingham. Those are three superstars in different profiles, in different positions in the same team. When you think about Manchester City, you can think about De Bruyne, you can think about Haaland, and you can think about Bernardo Silva and Rodri. I mean, and Diaz and Ederson. Those are superstar players. Those are superstars in the same team, different profiles, different roles, and different positions. I think when it comes to Arsenal, we can have our own superstars like William Saliba, David Raya, the likes of Saka, but our players lack that kind of superstar energy. And when Saka came back yesterday, Arsenal got something that we have not had for 100 days. The superstar energy. Like having a superstar on the pitch, a player that scores and the stadium goes alight. A player that scores and everyone believes that Arsenal scored. It was like Arsenal had not scored a goal in 100 days. I love Saka. And I love the fact that Arsenal have him, and I hope that the contract negotiations can make him the most paid player at Arsenal right now. Honestly. I mean, if you get so much from him, such energy, such spirits, such ambience, he better be the most paid player at Arsenal. Would you really prefer Arsenal to make him captain? Let me know in the comment box below. I'm not going to go into the debate now, but maybe if the chance arose, we have seen it with Van Persie, Fabregas, and Thierry Henry, you never know. Now, another thing that we saw is that injuries are not going away and they still continue. And this is my lesson number 4. Sadly, it should have been a night that is riddled with very, very good sentiments. But injuries are injuries and you can't keep them out of the game. Yesterday, Gabriel Magalhaes, according to Mikel Arteta, felt something in his hamstring. And also, Julian Timber was uncomfortable really throughout. And that tells you that Arsenal go into the Real Madrid game, we might have or might have not Julian Timber and Gabriel. These two have been our most consistent centre-backs, but also most importantly, they've been our most improved centre-backs this year. Julian Timber obviously having that long-term injury last season, we didn't get to see much of him, but when he came back, he's been a monster of a defender. And when it comes to the goal, the first one, you can see what I'm talking about. Gabriel has been scoring goals left, right, and center. And most importantly, he has been a very outstanding defensive ace. I mean, in a season where Saliba has dropped down a little bit, Gabriel has stepped up. And that is why it's called a partnership. I don't want to hear anyone say he's better than Saliba, because 1 or 2 seasons ago, we were saying there is no match here. Saliba is the best centre-back in the Premier League. So with that partnership now being sabotaged, Kivio might have to come in for Real Madrid. You don't want Kylian Mbappe. You don't want Vinicius Junior. You don't want Rodrigo against Jakub Kivio. I mean, I don't want to disgrace him and all that. We know it is what it is. Now, when it comes to Julian Timber, I kind of feel like he's played a lot of football due to injuries. And if there is a chance to rotate him, Mikel Arteta has not used it. Ever since Ben White came back, I don't think that he has rotated the two as much as he would. And I've already said, Mikel has a problem with rotation. If you know that Julian Timber has had an ACL injury that kept him out for a whole year, and Ben White is back, why aren't you giving Ben White a chance, and then why aren't you resting Julian Timber? But I don't want to get into that because it's a debate that many people are going to talk about. The last thing I want to say that we learned in that game, Arsenal are a very good team, and that was very good football. We just need a few corrections. We are a good team. We are a very well-drilled team. We just need a few corrections. What do I mean? When you look at the football yesterday, it was quicker, it was better, entertaining, and it was the football of a team that should be fighting for, quote-unquote, the Premier League. That is football that, played consistently on a consistent basis, wins you the Premier League. But yet we know that in the next game, Arsenal are going to throw all that away, come and play very slow football, boring football, and the scoreline is going to end up 0-0, if not lose 1-0 or 2-0. And that's why I said we're a very good team. We just need a few corrections. Throughout this season, there is something that you've seen with Arsenal. We have not taken it as a positive because the season has been shrouded in a lot of negatives. But let me point it out. Arsenal have had a lot of possession, and not a lot of possession in our own half, but a lot of possession in the opposition half. What that tells you is that this team is a well-drilled team. We can control possession. We are comfortable on the ball. We just lack penetration. It's as simple as that. The other thing we lack as a team is the consistency to do the good things every single day, every single match day. If we can do that, we're going to be unstoppable. So, who was my man of the match? Let me vote. I'm going to go with Gabriel Martinelli. I'm sorry, I might have disappointed a few of you. I like him. I've always told you that I've always believed that he's a very talented guy, and maybe I was wrong about him. And Saka is a monster of a talent, but I still believe in Gabi as a player. So hit the like button. See you soon. Next one on the channel is an update on the injury of Saka, Timber, and Gabriel. So make sure you tune in at exactly 4 p.m. as we do it. 11 a.m., 4 p.m., and 8 p.m. See you soon.